Welcome to the Daily Map Analysis report prepared by the Pioneer team on the war of the century between Russia and the Ukrainian war. As the Pioneer, we continue to inform you about the recent confliction between the Russian army and the Ukrainian army. In our report today, we will evaluate the latest developments on the front line together on the map. According to the latest reports, the counterattack of the Ukrainian Armed Forces is continuing in 3 sections of the front line. However, we can say that there is a calmness in the region in general. Ukrainian sources also confirms this calmness. So what's the latest situation? Let's take a look at the latest developments on the front line together. As the Pioneer, we continue to convey to you the confliction between the Russian army and the Ukrainian army. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and open notifications so as not to miss our daily map analysis reports and reports on the agenda. You can also support our team by liking and commenting on our videos. I'm also reading all of your comments. Please specify the content you want to see on our channel in the comments. The Pioneer reports. I would like to start today's map analysis report again with the latest situation on the Zaporizhia front line. Let's first see the Zaporizhia front line on the map. As you know, this is a region where the Ukrainian army's counterattack continues to be most violent. Ukrainian troops who are continuing offensive operations in the region have established a great superiority over Russian troops. Let's first examine the developments with the Stromayorsky direction. As you may recall, units of Russian armed forces recently launched attacks against Ukrainian positions and stations in Stromayorsky. However, during these attacks, the Russian troops were forced to retreat, suffering heavy losses. As soon as the Ukrainian army captured the Stromayorsky, it took action and established a very strong defensive fortifications. This defensive fortification was supported by artillery units and armored units. It was also claimed that some units of the Ukrainian army, which had been conducting defensive operations against the Russian troops in the direction of Bahamut for a long time, had also been transferred to the region to defend the Stromayorsky. Russian sources warned the Russian General Staff about the Stromayorsky, stating that the region should be cleared of Ukrainian troops, otherwise Ukrainian troops would advance towards Zaporizhia. According to recent reports, these claims of Russian sources have come true. According to the allegations, Ukrainian troops caught the Russian armed forces off guard in the morning and launched an attack in the direction of Zaporizhia. As a result of these attacks, it is reported that Russian troops have withdrawn from the outskirts of Zaporizhia. However, there is no confirmed information about the situation in the region. Therefore, we expect that this information will be confirmed in coming days. If the information is confirmed, we will share with you in our map analysis reports in the coming days. Recently, Ukrainian Defense Ministry spokeswoman Hanna Maliar shared a report on the latest developments on the Zaporizhia front line. As you may recall, the Ukrainian Armed Forces had greatly increased their pressure on the Russian troops in the direction of Robotin. In fact, as we mentioned in our agenda report, Russian soldiers tried to infiltrate Ukrainian positions by wearing the uniforms of Ukrainian soldiers, but they were destroyed as a result of the error of Russian unmanned aerial vehicles. We can actually understand the difficulty of the situation in the region from the point of view of the Russian soldiers by looking at this incident. The increasing Ukrainian pressure on Robotin every day is forcing Russian troops to make radical decisions and carry out different operations. Let's go back to Hanna Maliar's explanations again. Hanna Maliar also drew attention to the Robotin aspects in the reports she shared about the latest situation on the Zaporizhia front line. Ukrainian Defense Ministry spokesman Maliar used the following statements in these statements. Our heroic soldiers are achieving tactical success in the Malia, Tokmakchara and Robotin region in the south and continue to gain ground at the borders. However, this is a process. The concentrated engineering barriers created by the Russian occupation forces around the command heights in the region make it difficult to advance. The concrete engineering barriers created by Russian occupation forces around the command heights in the region make it difficult to advance. Let no one doubt our troops will break through these concrete barriers and liberate the areas occupied by the Russian army from occupation. Keep believing in the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The Ukrainian Armed Forces attaches great importance to the progress in this region. As you may remember from our previous reports, this region is the gateway to Berdyansk on the Azov Coast Sea and Melitopol, which will play an important role in the rescue of Crimean Peninsula. We can state that the Ukrainian army's efforts to achieve strategic goals are behind the increase and its attacks in the region. However, as Maliar, the spokeswoman of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, also stated, this is a process. In the following days, the probability of Ukrainian troops liberating Robotyne has increased significantly. I would like to continue our map report with the Bahamut Line. We see that the armed forces of Ukraine are continuing on Bahamut wings. The southern part of the city center of Bahamut remains relatively quiet. However, according to recent reports, units of Russian armed forces have launched a new offensive north of Klishchivka together with the new supporters they have received. During the aforementioned attacks, the Ukrainian Defense Forces managed to repel the Russian troops. The Ukrainian army, which responded to the Russian troops with heavy artillery fire, largely protected its positions. If we look at recent developments, we see that new reinforcements to the Russian army have not had the expected effects. As you may remember, recently the Russian armed forces took a decision and sent troops consisting of inexperienced soldiers and volunteers to the direction of Klishchivka. It is claimed by local sources that the new troops that come to the support to Russian defense in the region were used during the attacks on Ukrainian positions, and many of them were destroyed. Let's continue our report with the Northern Front. Let's see the area on the map first. According to the latest reports, the region that Russian troops had advanced to the west of the Zherebets River and captured had been liberated by Ukrainian troops. Later, Ukrainian troops expanded their preparations in the direction of Serhivka, Novorivka, and Nadiyka. After the Ukrainian forces managed to retake more areas west of Karmazinivka, the Russian forces stationed in the area gradually retreated back to their starting point. With the capture of Nadia and Novohorivka by Ukrainian armed forces, only the helmet of Serhivka and small tracts of land west of Zherebets River remained in the Russian hands. The region is expected to become even more lively in coming days. Ukrainian troops who have achieved critical success, especially during recent operations, have significant motivation to advance. It is possible to mention that the areas of dominance of the Russian troops will weaken even more in the coming days. What do you guys think? Do you think the Ukrainian army will be able to capture Robotyne? Do you find the goals of the Ukrainian army consistent? How do you evaluate Maliar's explanations? Do you think the Northern Front line will become more active? Mention it in the comments. I'm reading and caring about your comments.